So Canva, we're going to talk about one of my favorite areas today, Canva. Canva is one of those tools that just makes you look really good, just like Spark. Spark, our back office, there's lots of videos on how to use Spark. And Canva, there's also lots of videos on YouTube. Today, what I'm going to do is give you my shortcut. As a disclaimer, I'm not an expert at Canva. No, I'm not. However, I know enough to show you how to make a great flyer, how to market yourself, and how to look really good. Years ago, we had to hire designers to do all of our graphic design, and it might take a week or so to get information back from them to tweak it and go back and forth. I remember doing ads in magazines and how frustrating it was to rely on another person. Now you don't have to do that anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and bring up the Canva account and show you. This is the home screen of Canva. This is what it looks like. And let's get this out of the way here. Okay, so on the home screen, first off, you have all these little buttons up here. You can just push on one and make a flyer or a YouTube thumbnail, a video. And what I love is your custom sizes. If you go into some of the companies like United Healthcare or Molina, they want a custom size of your picture. You can upload your picture and put it in a custom size and it saves it for you. So that's a really nice aspect to have it's saved for you so you can not have to reinvent the wheel all the time. The other thing that I want to show you is on this left side, it has your home page. It also has your projects. And when you go into the projects section, you can actually make folders of all your designs, which is nice because if you have, say, a separate company or you want to make birthday cards, you can put them all in folders and you don't have to go through all your designs to find them again. There's lots and lots and lots of templates. I use the templates constantly because I like to be able to do something really quick. There's templates for videos, for logos, for flyers. You can make shirts and mugs and invitations and postcards. You can do everything with Canva. Now, there's two different types of Canva. There's the free account, which is pretty good, or there is the other account that you can get that is like $12.99 a month. There's not a lot of money. You'll have under brand on the left, see this little crown that will say that you have the more expensive account. So branding is something you do have to pay for. But if you can put your picture, you can have them make logos for you. They can actually brand you. And that's something that I've done. I've made a logo and I've branded myself. So every time you see something with LM Medicare, it's me. So all the big companies do it. Why should you not do it? Ought to not do it. So also, Canva just added an AI this year, and it's really cool. You can put in Medicare agent for Twin Falls. I want them to make a design. Say we're going to do a logo, and you can have them design it for you. You can have them design anything. They can do videos, they can do PowerPoint presentations, they can do flyers, they can do just about everything. If you can't think of something that day, I always go down to Canva AI and put it in. Okay, here it is, Twin Falls Medicare Solutions, Twin Falls Medicare. I love this one. So it gives you some ideas that you can go for. This one's kind of cool too. So that's something that really is cool that you can do yourself. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to do a flyer. I also want to show you before we get started on the flyer is some of the other things that I've done. I do letters. I do my Medicare updates every year, Medicare changes. I send these out and there's a front and back page at times. All my stuff I do in any print media, I always do on here. Here's my business card, front and back. There's also coupons that you can put together. You can make this one down here, Medicare Solutions Solved Here, is a billboard. So all kinds of different sizes. Here's a logo that we did with a moose logo. I do professional cross stitching. Here's one of my cross stitches that I did. So you can do just about everything. And you can upload. So today we're going to do a flyer, and I'll show you how you can upload your own information. One website that I use a lot is called Unsplash. If you have you can't think of an idea or you need a picture, you can go to Unsplash, and they have all these free photos that you can use, and you can download them to your computer, and then you can upload them here on Spark. So today we're going to do a flyer. Here is the design. And when I look for designs, I look for something, in fact, let's use this one, that is very simple, because I want my flyers to be very simple so people can see them on the board. So this particular flyer, let's start with the background. I don't particularly like the blue, it doesn't pop. So if you click on the background color, this little round blue circle up top, it'll bring a color palette onto the left-hand side. And we can attempt different colors to see how they pop. I kind of like the orange, but I still don't like this blue down below. So you can change that to a different color too. Well, wow, that pops. There's an orange and a yellow. Let's keep that for now. Now, you could also change all the text. Let's say Medicare solutions. But it doesn't stand out very well either. So let's change the color on that. Let's put it a little darker and see what happens. Let's go back. Sometimes it doesn't click on the first time. We're going to do a black and see if it'll change the black. It didn't change. Okay, let's do it down. Let's click out of it. And a little chromatic today, and then we'll go back in and see if we can change it to black. There we go. Okay, and I don't particularly like these little squares either. So if you click on the square and then you go delete or backspace, it'll take the little squares out. So I'm just going to take these out. Maybe I'll leave this one in. I'm also going to take 24 hours out. I don't want people calling me 24 hours. Here, I'm going to change it to call Lisa Maas. And I'm going to make it a little bigger. And I'm going to make it bold. Oops, sometimes I have to get out of it, go back into it, make it bold. And we're going to change the color again to black. That looks pretty good. Okay, so I'm going to add my logo. I always add my logo and my picture. So you go into uploads. I already have my logo and picture in the uploads. Here's my picture. You just click on it and it comes in pretty big, and it's got a background. So let's remove the background first. Then let's make it a little smaller. We'll make it a little smaller on each side. We don't need it quite that wide or that high. Then we're going to make it smaller by clicking on one of the corners, and we're going to put it down here. Now you notice this dotted line that comes up. That's your danger zone. If you're going to go ahead and print anything, Canva has beautiful printing. You can pick the type of paper. I just did kind of an upgraded paper, 2 sides color, $250 or $142 to my doorstep within a week, a little over a week. And it's beautiful when it comes out, but you got to make sure they'll help you once you go to order it to make sure that it's all in the picture itself. Okay, so we're going to put in my phone number here. But again, I don't really like this blue color. It's not my color. So let's go back to the blue. We'll move this. Oh, it's all one piece. So let's go in again and change that color and see if we can change it maybe to the orange. Oh no, it changed. We don't want that. So you go up here and you go back and it will change it back. We could put the black. That looks a little better. And let's see if we can get the background color. Let's see if we can click on the whole thing. It's not letting me. Generally you can. Okay, well, we'll just leave it at that. And then I'm going to take the website out. I don't really want the website, but I want this to be a little bigger. So let's make it bigger. Well, that looks pretty darn good. I really like that. I want to make it a little bigger. Again, we want them to call you. That's the whole idea of these flyers, is for them to call you. Now, remember, in all of our flyers, we want to make sure that we have our disclaimer. So, actually, maybe I'm going to put this up here and put this down a little bit. So it depends on your template of what you can do and move around. I want to move this down just a bit because I want my phone number to show a little more. Maybe I don't really want the Maas, but that looks pretty good. I like that. My picture's a little dull though. Let's go in and edit the picture. So you click edit. Computer's going a little slow today. Let's click edit again. And it comes up with all these filters and different effects and apps if you're going to do something live. So I'm going to, let's do down here. We can play with it a little bit. Flint. I like the Flint. Let's stick with that. Okay, so disclaimer. We do need to put a disclaimer on it. So what I do is I go back. The first time you've got to print it, but after that, you can go back to your home page and you can pick up another flyer. Sorry, my computer is running just a bit slow. So here's an old flyer that I did for another time. And what I can do is I can go in once it gets loaded here, and I can click on it, right click, copy, go back to my designs that I was doing. It's this first one. And then I can add in, I don't know why this is going so slow. Make sure that I'm still, yep, I'm on. Okay, you can go in and you can add a text box. So this purple is add text box. Well, here's the box, it's pretty small. So let's make it bigger so we can read it. Then we want to move it down here. We want to make it bigger. And then we can double click, right click and paste. Now it's pretty big. So let's get it smaller. Sometimes I click on and off of them because at times it's problematic, so it won't let me work with it. So I just click out, click back in. All right, so we're going to make it smaller because it's not showing up very much. And it's outside of our area. It does say I'm a licensed agent in there. It's pretty dark, so let's change the color. We'll make it a little bit lighter, maybe a gray. Can't quite read that. That's a little better. Okay, maybe put my face up a little bit more. There we go. Well, just for clicking around for my first time showing you this, that's pretty darn good. And you can tweak these as you go along. Bigger. Still not real happy with the orange. So if you go in and you look at things, you can always change them again. That's pretty good because it matches pretty much the red in here. Maybe not so bright. There we go. That's nice. I like that. Do you like that? I like that. So let's go with that. Okay, so now we can print it over to the right. Different types of paper, different types of finishes, how much your flyers are. They've discounted them. We can also, I always download it to my computer. You click, you can choose what type, if you want a PG and N file or JPEG, whatever. So this is now downloading. And so then you go into your downloads, and I always change my flyer name so I can remember it. So I rename it Medicare flyer for class. Okay, so I always know through my downloads how to get back to things. That's super, super important. So that is Canva. I want to encourage you to learn Canva because it'll make you look like a pro out there. When I put flyers up, I make them in different sizes. I can cut them down. I save them on disk drive and go print them at my local printer or your printer in your office. And it works out really well for you for Canva. So I encourage you to get to know that. It makes you look like a real pro. All right, bye for now.